become aware of the space that your lips occupy in space? And can you sense the volume of space that your lips are in space? And now, can you sense the space that your jaw occupies in space? Can you notice the volume of space that your entire jaw is in space? And now, can you feel the space that your cheeks occupy in space? And the density of space that your cheeks take up in space? And now, notice the space that your nose occupies in space. Can you sense the volume of space that your entire nose is in space? And now, can you sense the space that your eyes occupy in space? And can you feel the volume of space that your eyes are in space? And now, can you notice the space that your ears occupy in space? Can you sense the volume of space that your ears are in space? And now, can you feel the space that your entire head occupies in space? Can you sense the volume of space that your entire head is in space? And now, can you notice the volume of of space that the column of your neck occupies in space? And can you sense the density of space that your entire neck is in space? And now, can you notice the space that your entire upper torso occupies in space? The density of space taken up by your chest, your ribs, your heart and lungs, all the way to your back and shoulder blades, to your shoulders. Can you sense the volume of space that your entire upper torso is in space? And now, can you become conscious of the space that your entire upper limbs occupy in space, and the weight of space that your upper extremities are in space? Your shoulders, your arms, to your elbows and forearms. The density of your wrists and hands. Can you notice the weight of space that your entire limbs are in space? And now, can you sense the volume of space that your entire lower torso occupies in space? Your abdomen, your flanks, to your ribs, all the way to your lower spine and back. sense the volume of space that your entire lower torso is in space? And now, can you feel the density of space that your entire lower extremities occupy in space? To your buttocks, to your groin, to your thighs. The density of space of your knees, weight of your shins and your calves. Can you notice the volume of space that your ankles and feet down to your toes, your entire lower limbs occupy in space? And now, can you notice the space that your entire body occupies in space? Can you sense the density of space that your entire body is in space? And now, can you sense the space around your body in space? And can you notice the volume of space that the space around your body takes up in space? And can you sense the space that the space is in space? occupies in space? And can you sense the volume of space that this room takes up in all of space? And now, can you sense the space that all of space takes up in space? And the volume of space that that space is in space? Now, there is a powerful intelligence within you that is giving you life, which loves you so much. When your will matches its will, when your mind matches its mind, when your love for life matches its love for you, it always responds. It will move in you and all around you, and you will see evidence in your life as a result of your efforts. To be greater than your environment, to be greater than the conditions in your life, to be greater than the feelings that are memorized in your body, to think greater than the body, to be greater than time, means that you are tugging on the garment of the divine. Your destiny, then, is a reflection of, a co-creation with, a greater mind. Love yourself enough to do this. Recognizing. Now, you cannot create a new future while holding on to the emotions of the past. What was the emotion that you wanted to unmemorize. Remember what that emotion feels like in your body. And recognize the familiar state of mind that is driven by that emotion. Admitting it's time to turn the power within you. Introduce yourself to it and tell it what you want to change about yourself. Begin to admit to it who you have been and what you have been hiding. In your mind, talk to it. Remember that it is real. It already knows you. It doesn't judge you. It loves you. Say to it, universal consciousness within me and all around me. I have been, and I truly want to change from this limited state of being. Say it. Universal consciousness within me and all around me. I have been, and I truly want to change from this limited state of being. Declaring, it is time to free the body from the mind, to close the gap between how you appear and who you are, to liberate your energy. Release your body from the familiar emotional bonds which keep you connected to everything, every place, and everyone in your past and present reality. It is the moment to free up your energy. I want you to say the emotion you want to change out loud and liberate it from your body as well as your environment. Say it now. Declare who you no longer want to be. Surrendering. And now it's time to surrender this state of being to a greater mind and to ask it to resolve this in a way that is right for you. Can you relinquish control to a greater authority that already has the answers? Surrender to this infinite mind and understand that this intelligence is absolutely real. It only waits in admiration and in willingness. It only responds when you ask for help. Surrender your limitation to an all-knowing intelligence. Simply open the door, give it up, and let go completely. Let it take your limitation from you. Infinite mind, I give you mine. Take it from me and resolve this emotion into a greater sense of wisdom. Free me from the chains of my past. Now, just feel how you would feel if you knew this mind was taking this memorized emotion from you. Let go. Observing and reminding. Now let's make sure that no thought, no behavior, no habit that causes you to return back to the old self goes unnoticed by you. To make sure, let's become conscious of those unconscious states of mind and body. How did you used to think when you felt that way? What did you say to yourself? What voice did you believe that you no longer want to accept as your reality? Observe those thoughts. Begin to separate yourself from the program. How did you once behave? How did you speak? Become conscious of those unconscious states to such an extent that they would never go unnoticed by you again. To begin to objectify the subjective mind, to begin to observe the program, means you are no longer the program. Awareness is your goal. Remind yourself who you no longer want to be, how you no longer want to think, how you no longer want to behave, and how you no longer want to feel. Become familiar with all aspects of the old personality and just observe. With firm intention, make a choice to no longer be that person, and let the energy of your decision become a memorable experience. directing. Now it's time to play the change game. I want you to imagine 3 scenarios in your life where you could start feeling like the old self again. And when you do, I want you to say change out loud. First, imagine that it is morning and you are in the shower, and as you are getting ready for your day, all of a sudden you notice that familiar feeling just starting to come up. And the moment you notice it, you say change. That's right, you change it. Because living by the emotion is not loving to you. And it is no use signaling the same genes in the same way. And nerve cells that no longer fire together no longer wire together. You control that. Next, I want you to see yourself in the middle of the day. You are driving down the road, and suddenly that familiar feeling that drives those familiar thoughts starts to come up. And what do? You say change. That's right, you change. Because the rewards of being healthy and happy are so much more important than returning back to the old self. And by the way, living by that emotion has never been loving to you. And every time you change your state, you know that nerve cells that no longer fire together, no longer wire together. And you no longer turn on the same genes in the same way. Now, I want you to play the change game one more time. I want you to see yourself getting ready for bed. And you are pulling the covers back. And as you start to get into bed, you notice that familiar feeling come up, which is tempting you to behave as the old personality. And what do? You say change. That's right. Because nerve cells that no longer fire together, no longer wire together. Signaling that gene in that way is not loving to you. And nobody and no thing is worth it. You control that. Creating. Now, what is the greatest expression of yourself that you can be? How would a great person think and act? How would such an individual live? How would he or she love? What does greatness feel like? I want you to move into a state of being. It is time to change your energy and and broadcast a whole new electromagnetic signature. When you change your energy, you change your life. Let the thoughts become the experience, and let that experience produce an elevated emotion so that your body begins to emotionally believe that the future you is already living now. Allow yourself to turn on new genes in new ways. Signal the body emotionally ahead of the actual event. Allow yourself to fall in love with the new ideal. Open your heart and begin to recondition your body to a new mind. Let the inward experience become a mood, then a temperament, and finally, a new personality. Move into a new state of being. How would you feel if you were this person? You can't get up as the same person who sat down. You have to feel so much gratitude that your body begins to change ahead of the actual event. And accept that the new ideal already is you. Become it. Can you teach your body to become empowered, to be free, to be unlimited, to be creative, to be genius, to be divine? That is who you are. Once you feel this way, memorize this feeling. Remember this feeling. This is who you really are. Now let go and release it into the field for a moment. Just let go. rehearsing. Now, like those piano players who change their brains and the finger exercisers who change their bodies, let's do it again. Can you create your new self out of nothing one more time? Let's fire and wire a new mind and recondition the body to a new emotion. Become familiar with a new state of mind and body. What is the greatest expression of yourself? Allow yourself to begin to think like this new ideal again. What would you say to yourself? How would you walk? How would you breathe? How would you move? How would you live? What would you feel? Allow yourself to emotionally feel like this new self, so much so that you begin to move into a new state of being. It's time to change your energy again and remember what it feels like to be this person. Expand your heart. Who do you want to be when you open your eyes? You are signaling new genes in new ways. Feel empowered once again. Move into a new state of being. A new state of being is a new personality. A new personality creates a new personal reality. This is where you create a new destiny. From this elevated state of mind and body, it is time to command matter as a quantum observer of your new reality. Feel invincible, powerful, inspired, and overjoyed. From this new state of being, form a picture of some event you want to experience, and let the image become the blueprint of your future. Observe that reality and allow the particles as the waves of probability to collapse into an event called an experience in your life. See it, command it, hold it, and then move to the next picture. Let your energy now become entangled to that destiny. That future event has to find you because you created it with your own energy. Let yourself go and create the future you want in certainty, trust, and knowingness. Do not analyze. Do not try to figure out how it is going to happen. It is not your job to control the outcome. It is your task to create and leave the details to a greater mind. As you see your future as the observer, simply bless your life with your own energy. From a state of gratitude, be one with your destiny from a new state of mind and body. Give thanks for a new life. Feel how you would feel when these things manifest in your life. Because living in a state of gratitude is living in a state of receivership. Feel like your prayers are already answered. Finally, it is time to turn that power within you and ask for a sign in your life. If today you emulated this greater mind as a creator who is observing all of life into form, and you made contact with it, and it has been observing your efforts and intention, then it should show cause in your life. Know that it is real, that it exists, and that you now have a two-way communication with it. Ask that this sign from the quantum field come in a way that you would least expect, that surprises you and leaves you no doubt that this experience has come from the universal mind, so that you are inspired to do it again. I want you now to ask for a sign. And now move your awareness back to a new body, in a new environment, and in a whole new line of time. And when you are ready, bring your awareness back up to beta. Then